Some noise and show love for Mr. David Pfeiffer.
Hey, Joe, what's going on a Saturday night? Woo! Are you ready to laugh? Yeah. Cheryl, what the fuck did you take me to? Could have gone to see Star Wars. Now, guys, my name's David Pfeiffer. It is fantastic to see you this evening. If you do need to wake up, they do make very strong coffee in the back. That ran right through me, man. Whew, man, I tell you. And that's the thing, it kind of reminded me of my wife. She's kind of into this, like, herbal, witch doctor, voodoo, hooky booky, da bong dong type stuff. I don't know if you ever tried any of that. She got me doing these things now called coffee enemas. I don't know if you ever tried this before. Yeah. It tastes about as good as it sounds, y'all. I mean, I don't know if you thought Dunkin' Donuts had shitty coffee. You don't want to try mine. I guess you could say I use a French press. Well, the reason you do a coffee enema is to kind of clear your gut out of a bunch of parasites, because a lot of parasites can't stand coffee, like worms and flukes and Mormons. You know, you just gotta keep yourself cleansed out, man. I actually got married very recently, back in September, guys. Thank you guys very much, thank you. It was 2 weeks after Harvey, in fact. It was a little nerve-wracking, the whole shebang. I don't know, did you guys do a good job stocking up on supplies and provisions before the hurricane hit? Yeah, we got all the thumbs up. Me, I did not. I didn't take the warning seriously. I thought it was just going to be in and out, no big deal. And sure enough, it didn't. So my wife got a little mad at me, a little upset, because we got down to just whatever random shit you got in the pantry, right? Some Chef Boyardee and like some lentils or something. And she was afraid that, you know, days were going to go by, we weren't going to have any food, it was going to turn into like a cannibal holocaust or something. And I was trying to tell her to relax, baby. I mean, we've got some weed here, I'll just roll a blunt, we'll hop on an inner tube, we'll float 610, we'll have a good time. Make a day out of it. But she wasn't too impressed with that, so she sent me out foraging. So I got my loot on. I managed to come back with 3 personal watermelons from Sprouts. And my reconnaissance mission took me pretty much everywhere in my 3-block radius. I managed to take a shit behind a Walmart. It was quite the adventure, guys. I definitely recommend it next time we have a hurricane. Get out there and see the city, man. It's different when all the lights are out. But yeah, no, we had a beautiful ceremony in Galveston, because Galveston wasn't messed up that bad. My wife was about an hour and a half late to the ceremony, which was really kind of cool, because it just built up suspense, right? You know, I went from going like, oh, are we going to start on time, to am I going to have to go find her, and am I going to have to cross county lines to do so? That's where my head was at. So, just to let you guys know a little bit about my wife. My wife is a beautiful black woman, and I was so very excited to be getting married to her. My parents are excited to see me get married. It's just, it's my grandpa, you know. I mean, I don't want to go out and, you know, call him racist or anything, but he used to make little comments, you know, when I was younger, like I'm sure everybody's grandpa does, you know. He said, David, it's just like they say, once you go black, you're dead to me. And sure enough, he was. But hey, you know, one less plate you got to pay for at the reception. You know, you gotta, God closes the door, he opens the window. Everybody, I always look for the silver linings. And the thing I try to explain to people is that an interracial marriage is not that much different from a regular one. Except when it comes to pornography. And to kind of go into that a little deeper, so it's not that she takes issue with me watching pornography in general. It's just that sometimes she can get a little sensitive when the girl in the clip is lighter skinned than she is. Okay, it's a little cultural sensitivity there. So in an effort to be considerate of her feelings and to accommodate her, I said, baby, I will only search for dark-skinned women, okay? I'll just, you know, limit my search field to that category. We should all be copacetic on that. Problem is as I've discovered, the selection is a leaves a little something to be desired. And the reason I say that is that you can tell that systemic racism permeates all layers of society when you look at this specific category, because you can tell that it doesn't benefit from the same type of privilege or financial resources that the other categories might. You can tell when you look at the quality of the footage. It's always very grainy, like you swear they're fucking in a magnet factory. The guy working the boom mic must be doing like 12-hour shifts because he's getting tired. That thing's dropping in the frame, smacking the girl in the titty. In this one scene, girl stops in the middle of the clip to take her insulin. I was like, this is the most unprofessional shit I have ever seen. I wasn't even mad at the girl. They should have edited that out in post, right? I mean, it takes some talent to suck a dick, ride a dick, and take your insulin at the same time. I mean, that's like some Cirque du Soleil shit right there. You know, and it makes it difficult being a white man with a black woman, you know, because you want to see pornography that's representative of your relationship, right? But at the same time, you also want to see, you know, big things happening, right? I mean, nobody wants to see a Vienna sausage mashed in between an Arby's roast beef sandwich, right? You want to see big things happening. The problem is, it's this weird little trick of the light. You see, black absorbs light and white reflects it, so it's this weird little optical illusion. A black penis looks bigger going into a white vagina than the reverse. It's just this weird little trick of the light. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. It makes things difficult. There's other things I think about, though, too, you know, considering our relationship. Like, for example, we got any fathers in the house tonight? Any fathers make some noise? Yeah. All right, there we go. Because it doesn't matter what color you are, at the end of the day, it's difficult for any man to establish credibility as a father to his children, right? So I want you to imagine in a couple of years, I'm going to have a little mixed kid looking up at me being like, Daddy, you don't know the struggle. Listen here, you little high yellow bastard, you don't know my struggle. Do you know what it's like being the only white man expected to dance at a black wedding? Shit is terrifying, y'all. Look, I'm a white man, right? God gave me the world, but he took away my rhythm, okay? I mean, watching me dance is like watching Stephen Hawking try to shell a peanut, right? Like watching Michael J. Fox try to open a pickle jar, right? I mean, you got people calling 911 saying, somebody help that cracker! It's embarrassing, guys. It's embarrassing, man. Well, what's got to happen, too, when they get to an age where, you know, they're going to need to be disciplined, but what if we're in public, right? It can get real hairy real quick. I might, you know, tell my son, hey, you need to go over here right now and be like, look, Dad, we all know how this is going to go. You lay one hand on me, I'm going to scream Black Lives Matter. You're never going to work in this town again, so you can buy me these J's or what? Boy's got a point. Boy needs the J's. You guys are a fantastic crowd. You guys having a good time? Yeah! I love to hear it. So, what other topics can we get into? You know, back in the day, I actually used to be a mixed martial arts fighter. I don't know if you got any UFC fans in the house, anybody? Yeah. I actually remember my first fight like it was yesterday. I remember, you know what? Scratch that. I got knocked out in the first round. That was, whew, that was a little embarrassing. It was a really strange ordeal. I was coming in with a straight right. He came with an overhand right. And I was out like a light. I didn't come to till I was back in the dressing room, and they're taking my hand wraps off, and I look at them and say, what the fuck are you doing, man? Put that shit back on. I gotta fight. They're like, no, you got knocked the fuck out. What are you talking about, man? I feel great. I'm well rested. Let's do this thing. Took a couple times for it to sink in. The worst part about it was they put the thing up on YouTube. And if there's something you don't ever want to read in your lifetime, it's the comments on your own knockout video. I mean, when I tell you these motherfuckers were ruthless and savage, I mean that shit, okay? Right out the gate, the first comment was like, looks like a NyQuil commercial. Some other asshole photoshopped my face on top of Dorothy from Wizard of Oz when she falls asleep in the field. Yeah. They had to take like a solid half hour to put that together. But probably the most hurtful comment was just 3 simple words. Cosby strikes again. Yeah. Yeah. How do you think I feel? My family had to see that. Definitely hurt my pride, that's for sure. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know if you guys have done this recently, but this past November we had to get into the whole signing up for health insurance. I don't know if anybody got their Obamacare on fleek already, anybody? Shout out to... never mind. But fuck that shit, yeah, it's all good. It's interesting because I used to be the one providing health insurance for me and my lady, because I used to have a corporate job, but then I got liberated from that via a layoff back in June. And so now I've been having to try to sign up for her insurance. And the funny thing about it is, when it's just her, it's a pretty reasonable price for the insurance, $75 per pay period, you know, pretty decent deductible, no worries. Just adding me jumps it up from $75 per pay period to $281. That's 4 times the dollars for 2 times the human. I don't understand that math. And with a $6,000 deductible, I don't understand. I got to pay $3 grand a year in premium to pay another $6 grand in deductible for you to do what exactly? They said, don't worry about it, David. We're going to get you what's called a hospital indemnity policy. I said, what the hell is that? Well, that's a policy that pays the deductible on your actual health insurance policy. So I'm like, wait a minute, I got to have insurance for my insurance? How does that shit work? I figure the only way I'm going to be able to afford this thing is I'm just going to have to go into the doctor's office and just start rattling things off. Be like, look, doc, I'm real anxious. I can't sleep. I don't shit right. My dick don't work. I'm going to need some Oxy, some Molly. Like, sir, we don't prescribe Molly. All right, fine, the generic then, whatever. Some Xanax, some Vicodin, some Pramolamid, Damodol, whatever the hell you got in there, I need it. Don't give me the 30-day supply. I need the 60-day so I can go to the local high school, sell the other half. All right? No wonder we got an opioid epidemic in this country. People just trying to pay for the goddamn health insurance. End rant. No. Because that's the thing is, oh man, life has been interesting having been married recently. I have been surprised at how sharp and steep the drop-off has been in our sex life. I really thought I was going to have at least a good solid like 2 years, you know, but it hasn't worked out that way. I've been having a lot of that married type of sex. You guys know what I'm talking about, where you nudge her real early in the morning, you say, hey, you want to have sex? And she goes, do I have to wake up? Nope. Okay. And that's what we call consent. And I try to explain it to her. I don't need anything fancy, right? You don't have to dress up or slap me around or call me names. I mean, you're more welcome to if you want to. I'm kind of into that. I just want something simple, right? You just want to come home after a long day's work, drop your drawers, and just sit on my face. We can do that, okay? I don't care if you've been working all day and your vagina's musty, okay? I don't care. I don't care if you were spotting this morning, okay? I don't care if your mom's in the hospital and you're not in the mood. Look, I just sit on my face. I don't think that's too much to ask a husband of his wife. This guy knows what I'm talking about. It's rough out here, man. It's rough. You know, because before we got married, we looked into doing like pre-marriage counseling. We wanted to make sure we were on the same page going into it. So we started attending this Bible study group, really with the intent of just trying to trick them into officiating the wedding for free, because that's rather expensive. But we got into an interesting conversation where this guy was talking about, you know, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, heaven and hell, and that type of stuff. And I said, you really think there's a place called hell where you go to burn and suffer for all eternity? He's like, absolutely, I believe that with all my heart. So I don't know, man, because my mom always told me growing up that if no sinner could ever get into heaven, it'd be a pretty empty fucking place, right? So I like to imagine that everybody does get into heaven when they die. I just think you have to get through like an exit interview first, right? Like they have to like go through the play-by-play and watch film, like you're a football player after the game, right? Maybe an angel comes and sits you down and like, hey man, go ahead and have a seat. Let's take a look at the film. Okay. Hey, that's pretty cool. You start off as a painter. That's nice. Oh, I'm digging the stash, man. That's cool, dude. Oh, there you go skiing. I like it. Whoa, hoo-hoo, whoa. Man, I think that's where you went wrong, right there, where you killed 6 million Jews. Yeah, really whipped it on that play. Cost the whole team a lot of yards, really did. But you know what? Classic rookie mistake, okay? Sometimes you zig when you should have zagged, right? Sometimes you pizza when you should have French fried, right? Now, French fried Jews might be a delicacy in Iran. That's not how we play ball up here, okay? But hey, look, no worries. All right, just keep working hard. I'm going to have to redshirt you this season, but who knows? Maybe the next time we'll put you on kickoff return. Appreciate you coming in. Take care. All right, next. Go ahead. Go ahead. Have a seat. Whew. That's a lot of gay stuff. Man. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying. Damn, Jeffrey, did you have to eat them? Oh my goodness. Look, Mr. Donner, I have seen a lot of fucked up stuff in this job, but this just really takes the cake. Look, I know it's not stated explicitly in the commandments, but I think you should assume that it wouldn't preclude you bringing somebody over to your house, eating his ass, then literally eating his ass. Like, that's, thou shalt not double eat. Look, I gotta get on the phone real quick. Hold on a second. Yeah, Jesus, it's me. Yeah, it's about Jeff. Yeah. Look, now I know you said everybody gets into heaven, but I think this might be it. You might want to take a second look. Seriously? Oh my God. Jeff, are you sorry for what you did? He says he's sorry. Are you fucking kidding? All right, man. Well, look, when you get done hanging out on the tortilla, we're going to have a talk about this, okay? Because this is why we still have Republicans. Jeez, all right. Everybody gets into heaven, you know. Everybody gets into heaven. You know, death has been on my mind a lot lately, because I used to sell life insurance. That probably makes sense. You know, life insurance is a pretty simple concept, right? You pay a little bit of money now so that your family can have some more when you die. Pretty simple. But you'd be amazed at how many people take issue with that. One of the most common objections I would get would be from a man telling me, well, I don't want to spend all this money so my wife can turn around and spend it on some new guy when I'm gone. I said, bro, you don't have any control over that, okay? I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to haunt her like a ghost? But you're going to bust out a Ouija board and be like, stop sucking dick, Carl? Cock block from beyond the grave? That's just petty. That's just petty. Because at the end of the day, look, she can either suck dick on her own terms, or she can do so out of necessity, right? And I know me, for one, I don't want my kid dealing with a revolving door of men coming in and out of their lives, asking all these questions like, Mom, who was that? That's Mr. Rent. What about the other guy? That's Mr. Light Bill. What about the last one? That's Mr. Who do you think pays for all these Lunchables, Timmy? All right, money doesn't grow on trees. It's rough out there, man. You know, my wife, she's been on my case a lot lately to get what you call them a real job. And it's been an interesting conversation because I try to explain to her, like, baby, what's the point of me entering into a new career when we all know that in a couple of years, robots are going to put me out of work anyways, right? They're already taking up the manufacturing jobs, the customer service jobs. I bet you in a couple of years we're going to have robots putting people out of work sucking dick. Alright? Which is a real shame, because sucking dick is really the only social safety net we have left in this country. You know, because every man, woman, and child knows that worst come to worst, push come to shove, you can always pucker up and pay your rent. Alright, what happens when the robots start doing it for pennies on the dollar, bottom falls out of the market, what are you going to do? You got a mortgage, you got kids to feed, better grab your chapstick, you got to work double time. But you know, I'm pretty sure this is a cultural anxiety that's existed for hundreds of years, and ever since the Industrial Revolution, right? I mean, you guys are all familiar with the story of John Henry, right? John Henry, the steel-driving man who went up against the steam-powered drilling machine. A lot of people don't realize that that story was originally about John Henry, the dick-sucking man, who went up against the first steam-powered dick-sucking machine, which, granted, this technology was in its infancy in the 1800s. It would give you a third-degree burn, but it could suck the chrome off a trailer hitch, I tell you that. But John Henry, you know, he dug deep and he sucked his heart out, and that's how we got that story. But then Disney got the rights to it, so they sanitized it for the kids. So just robots, guys, you know. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You guys are an awesome audience. I'm really enjoying my time with y'all. Oh my goodness gracious. So guys, it is, we're approaching the end of 2017. Yeah, and what have we learned this year? Everyone's a rapist, right? Your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, the Pope, the candlestick maker, the Nina, the Pina, the Santa Maria, everybody is a rapist. Which really, when you think about it, means nobody's a rapist, okay? Follow my logic here, okay? I think collectively as men, we have to get together, get out in front of this situation. No more sitting around waiting for the next accusation to come down the pike. No, we gotta, as individuals, hold our individual press conferences where we cop to whatever sexual misconduct we're guilty of. And we're all guilty of something, right? I mean, even if it's innocuous. Maybe in junior high you stamped a girl's bra strap. Maybe you stared at your coworker's ass too long. Maybe you used too much teeth when you went down on her. There's always some skeleton in the closet. And just get up there, bare your heart, and admit your sins, and then whatever job you have, resign from it. It doesn't have to be high profile, right? You don't have to be a politician or a Hollywood executive to resign, right? Are you a plumber? Are you a teacher? You work part-time at AutoZone? Just tell them that you're not fit for office anymore, right? And step down. And then when we all step down, then the women are going to have to do all the work. And then we're going to get to hang out at home with the kids where the real raping begins. I'm glad you guys got that was a joke, because the Friday Night Early Show did not get that. You never want to be in a position where you have to explain, no, I am not pro-choice. Anyways, but moving right along, Alabama just had a great special election, everybody. Give it up for Alabama one time. That was an exciting election. On the one hand, you had a candidate who was a civil rights attorney who successfully prosecuted members of the KKK who firebombed a church in Birmingham that had killed 4 black girls, and he defeated the accused pedophile by 1%. So, just goes to show you that in the contest between good and evil, Alabama will always bring it right down to the wire, guys. Roll Tide, everybody. Roll Tide. Probably my favorite statistic about that election, though, was they polled people and they said, of the people who believed the accusers of Roy Moore, 90% did not vote for him, which means that 10% of the people who believed the accusations went ahead and voted for him. They said, yeah, I think he probably raped him, but I don't care. All right. Maybe that's what this country needs, because if you don't grab the pussy, it'll grab you. That'll do it. You guys are fucking awesome. I'm going to leave you guys with this last one. It's an oldie but a goodie. You know, I mentioned I used to sell insurance back in the day. Probably the most interesting version of that was when I had to sell car insurance, because that involved a lot of cold calling, a lot of calling people up out of the blue, at random, trying to get them to let me quote their insurance. Always a very hectic process, so what I developed was this little phrase I would use to break the ice on the phone call. I would say, hey, look, real quick, I'm going to shoot you this quick comparison quote. If it looks good, great. If not, we won't worry about it. And what I found is you can use the same technique in your dating life. Like, let's say, for example, I walk into a bar and I meet a beautiful young woman. Like, ma'am, what's your name? Christy? That's a beautiful name, Christy. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name's David. Hey, Christy, real quick. I got this dick, right? I just want to shoot it to you real quick. If it looks good, great. If not, we won't worry about it. How's that sound? Sounds good, everybody. Christy's a buyer, y'all. Give it up for Christy. Showing her interest in a fantastic product. Now, Christy, I got to ask a few quick qualifying questions. You'll make sure you and I are a good fit. So, who is your current dick provider? How you doing, sir? Pleasure to meet you. Now, Christy, a little word of advice here. You can't just take them at their word, right? They could tell you anything, right? He probably tells you he's got 10 inches. He's probably got a 12-inch deductible, okay? That's called going backwards, Christy. You look like a kind of smart young woman trying to go forwards in your life, am I right? Right, because if it don't make dollars, y'all, it don't make sense. Now, Christy, how can I make you understand how important this is? I want you to imagine, hypothetically, that you're on your way home tonight, and God forbid, you get into an accident, somebody wrecks your pussy. I mean, just wrecked his shit, y'all. I mean, it's a nightmare, right? There's blood everywhere. They're pulling people out of there. I mean, they got to get the jaws of life to open up your jaws of life. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. Now, this could go one of two ways, Christy, right? Now, you could have that cut rate insurance. What they're going to do is they're going to depreciate it, okay? Now, Christy, what year were you born? 88, that's a good year. They don't make them like that anymore. Now, so Christy's used to driving a 1988 Christy pussy, guys, and it's in great condition. All right, no dents, no scratches. She changes the fluids, okay? But here's the thing, Christy, they're not going to give you enough for a brand new 1988, okay? They're going to depreciate for wear and tear. I mean, you'll be lucky to get a 1938 at that rate, okay? Now look, I don't know how many 1938s y'all have seen, let alone how to drive. I'm going to tell you, Christy, right now from experience, shit ain't pretty, okay? And look, I understand you put a lot of work into it, right? I mean, you wash it, you wax it, you fill it up twice a week. I understand you probably can't even get to work without it. That's why I'm going to promise you that at Liberty Mutual, we're going to insure you the full replacement value to get you back in a brand new 1988 like it never even happened. And with our Better Pussy Replacement Program, we're going to put you in one model year newer with 15,000 less miles. Now look, Christy, I'm not a magician, but if I can take 15,000 miles off of it, shit, I think I deserve a peek, don't you? Everybody, give it up for Christy for being a great sport. Guys, my name's David Pfeiffer. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy your headliner. Good night.